And welcome back to Napoleon Total War 3. And yes, last time around I would say barely actually defeated the Bavarians. It was kind of touch and go there for a second, but when you actually looked at the casualties, it wasn't that bad in the end. But they were able to send two of my regiments away, send them packing, and yeah, it would have ended a lot differently if maybe I had a worse general that wasn't able to rally my troops. Now we're about to attack Bavaria again and go ahead and take that. This time around, I don't think I will actually release them as a vassal, although I really like releasing vassals, holding a lot of vassals. I think we'll actually hold them for ourselves, just because I really want to have the full support of the supply post there, so we get full support of that. And also, I've kind of just sitting here looking at the situation, sort of re-evaluating my plan for a continued push by Karl von Österreich to actually move towards Milan and take that, and instead move him north, just with what happened in the recent battle against the Bavarians. Because if we're falling, or if we're getting beaten by the Bavarians, how bad is it gonna be when we basically go up against the #1 nation, France? And there's looks to be quite a lot of French troops, and we got Napoleon right there. He could blow this just wide open and then push towards my capital, and I mean, the entire thing would come crumbling down. And I think it would actually be safe to move these guys north instead, and not to continue on towards Milan. Just because I don't think these guys, seemingly they haven't been recruiting any more troops. They haven't moved toward Venice. They haven't tried to, you know, cross the bridge and attack us or anything. And I think it would be safe to move them north, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna need them later on. Did my navy ever arrive? No. I do have my spy here though. And what I want to do is I want to just check what we have beyond here. So there's nothing. It is rather tempting though, because on the other side, I mean, if he attacks and takes this, I could just blow through here, get the Piedmont Liguria region, and then march on to Marseille, and then just open up the here and just throw all the French advancement to all over the place, really. I don't think we would be able to march any further than Marseille, though. We would probably have to hold there and wait for reinforcements. But that would do us big, like, that would be a massive victory here. So I'm kind of going for this, but at the same time, then I'm risking this region. And looking at how my recruitment here is going, I definitely think I underestimate how many troops we're gonna need. So I'm thinking for the next turn, when I get more money, income next turn. 2,000. Where does all my money go? Army upkeep. I had 8,000 last time. Where all my money suddenly goes to army upkeep, but I haven't really recruited that many troops? What has happened there? 2,000. That's not gonna be that many troops. I mean, if I just spam out the cheapest ones, sort of the line in for 300, that means I would get like 6 units. But these take like 2 turns. 6 units is pretty good though. Right, but with that said, we've got a battle ahead of us. It's the Siege of Munich, and it's time to once more go against the Bavarians. Hopefully the final time to go against the Bavarians. So I have about 2,000 men against 2,458. However, the Bavarians don't have a proper general, and it's my proper field marshal with really good units. We've got the guards, cuirassiers, and the grenadiers ready to go against these. And this army is mostly made up of armed citizenry, which got an accuracy of 9, where the average accuracy sort of for units in this mod is 20. So they've got half. And I mean, we've seen how poor the accuracy is. I mean, they're basically shooting, some troops seem to be shooting for the moon. With 9, then, I don't know, it's basically pointing the gun straight into the ground. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to sweep these guys away, since I've got quite a bit of cavalry in this army. We've got lots of good heavy cavalry, and then lighter cavalry as well, so that'll be good. Oh, we even have, yes, we even have these Bavarians. Very good. Right, with that said, let's draw into battle and defeat the Bavarians once and for all. And so here we are for the Battle of Munich. We've got quite a nice position, as you can see by the map. I'm holding the highest ground on the map, but we're not going to hold it for long because we're going to push towards the town. Most likely, not really, but since the enemy lacks, it doesn't lack cavalry, but has less cavalry, I'm pretty sure they will go ahead and stick mostly into the town, because that's going to neutralize my mobility of my cavalry to attack and so forth. And yeah, most likely we're going to have to march all the way up to town to fight them. I've spread out the lines. I've put the grenadiers in the center with the Grenzers on the right side, and then we've got the Dutch Meisters right here. We've got the Herzog Karl and the Kaiser Franz over there. Cannons in the center. I'm gonna roll them up. We're gonna shoot canister and round shot at close range into probably quite thick formations formed within inside the town. With this said, let's go ahead and start. Also, yes, I formed my cavalry on the left because I'm expecting, because if you remembered on the map, the town was here, the main general was here, and on the road there, this somewhere is the road to Vienna, and there's where the 2 cavalry units came from. So I'm expecting them to come in, hopefully somewhere along this side. So they will basically be the cavalry cover on the right side. So we'll start without cavalry cover on my right side, but I don't expect the enemy is going to throw away the general right here in the start. With that said, let's go ahead and start the battle. And I think the enemy needs no time to prepare itself, so we're gonna start marching up. And yeah, the cavalry, I don't know how useful it will be, because it's gonna be hard to use them inside the town. Oh yes, they did turn up here. So we got the Chevaliers, the O'Reillys. Seems not very German name. What do we have here? Grenadiers and armed citizenry militia moving forwards. I think we'll just hold the unit here, prepared to strike these guys in the back or from the side, depending on where we stop. Oh, that's wrong. Full speed ahead, and then the hussars next to them. Well, they're actually coming this way. The Bavarian Grenadiers are moving to attack my cavalry. Well, we'll just fall back a bit. Or move in different directions. Drag them away from the rest of their army. I thought they were actually going to stay in town, but now they're actually marching out of town. We're going to have to rethink my strategy. So I thought they weren't going to face me out here. We're going to tell cannons to hold. The Grenadiers going to hold there. These two gonna hold like so. I think that's a good position. And these guys gonna hold like so. The reason why I'm doing it slightly turned to this way because I want a great open space where my cavalry can sweep in. And then the cannons got a nice big hole they can set up in. General, put them in the forest, protect him from attacks coming from that side. And yeah, it's nice that they actually decided to march out to meet me. Because now my cavalry has a great chance of attacking them. So here we can sandwich probably the best infantry unit they have. They're Grenadiers. They're running, so they're tired. What I'll do is we'll just tell the Hussars to hold up here in the forest. Have these guys come in from the back. Let these guys start off the attack, forcing these guys to turn. And at the same time as the turn, the Hussars will pounce on them. So we'll be coming at them from two directions. Cannon is ready. Time to unlimber it and start shooting at these guys. Let's hold fire until we get really good shots all around. This one's gonna get absolutely massacred because we've got the two heavy, well, a heavy and a medium cavalry unit ready to charge this one. It's out of line with the rest of their army, and it's about to come within firing range of the Kaiser Franz regiment, and it's turning to face them. We're not yet within musket range. Now they're in musket range. We're gonna hold our fire though until they close in a bit. Okay, they're gonna stop and fire there. We return fire. And I mean, have you ever seen a better target? The cuirassiers will advance, ready to strike these guys from the flank. Oh, what's going on here? I completely missed that the Grenadiers turned around, and now this could possibly not go that well. I've already lost quite a few men. And this is not gonna work. These guys have to pull off. But now the Hussars are ready. And the Hussars will turn in. And with that, these guys are about to break. The Chevaliers will turn around. And the Grenadiers are done for. If I'd focused in there a bit better, that would have gone a lot better. But oh shit, I forgot about this now as well. Hold fire. We lost way too many of these cuirassiers. I'm gonna charge these guys down, make sure that they do not come back. So I sort of failed on both the cavalry charges because I forgot about them. We're not gonna go too close to the enemy now. So the cuirassiers will return. Right now they're lined up in a way that, I mean, these two, let's have them march forward, pin them from the front, and these guys come in from the flank. We'll have the cavalry over here. Now they're tired, but I'm pretty sure both of these units will be able to take on the Bavarians over there. These, oh, they're still active, but I think it's time for these guys then instead. We'll move them towards the forest here, ready to sweep in that way. And then I want this guy to fire on these instead of the 14th. Now the 14th is probably the stronger one because it's a proper regiment. But if I break this one, that could force these guys to retreat back into other regiments, causing disarray, leaving them open to cavalry charges and so forth. Right, the enemy is moving now. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. Ah, it's a shame those shots did not actually hit. With them, sort of, at this point, more or less opening up themselves to a flank attack. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing at this point, or what they think they're about to achieve by doing this. We're gonna hold here and we're gonna tell them to fire at will. We're gonna do the same over here. Okay, you can't really hit this guy anymore. So switch back to the 14th. Let's open up with the Grenadier, see if we can stop the enemy from continuing their advance. No, they're gonna continue. Let's open up with this one as well. I want to get a little bit of a better ground because I can see that there's kind of a ridge going through here. And then down here in the open area is where we can charge the enemy. So they're actually marching out of cannon range here. I could get really good cannon hits going straight through here. Right now they're just marching, I mean straight through everything, not returning fire, which is very silly to say the least. I tell these guys to hold fire, and then fire again. They'll probably elect to fire these. We're gonna have to move the cannons, and we're gonna have to move the grenadiers and so forth. These guys are gonna get absolutely murdered. They're gonna be forced to retreat through the lines, and combining that retreat with a cavalry attack, they're actually pushing forwards. I'll push my Grensers forward. Hold them right there. Tell them to fire. Let's see if we can squeeze you in between here. Be able to get around and attack the militia. Why aren't you firing? Okay, so it doesn't seem to have that great of effect than I thought it would on the other units here. But I think once this one goes, the cavalry can go through. This one's staying surprisingly strong given that the Grensers are just hammering them. This one's about to give way. How's it? Now they're confident and fresh. Cavalry will go for cavalry. The hussars will go for the armed citizenry. Now the cavalry is now actually coming under fire. I'm gonna pull them back a little bit. Oh, these guys are retreating, leaving this unit kind of on its own to face the hussars and the medium cavalry, the chevaliers, leaving open for me to just sweep in on the back on these guys.
Sir,
oh,
our general is under attack.
They are retreating. Continue on to this one, and you will start your charge. Not just yet. Oh, this one's broken. The Grenzer and the Dutch Meisters will advance. Right now, block them. Chevaliers versus Chevaliers. And our guys are already kind of breaking these guys' morale. Grenadiers will start their advance. Have the hussars hit the 15th Regiment of Foot in the back. These guys have lost quite a lot, but I'll shrink it a little bit and then tell these guys to start their attack. The cuirassiers will go for this unit. They're all breaking apart at this point. And the cavalry will have a field day. The general needs to come in close though at this point, because I can see some of the cavalry, some of the forward units, their morale is going down. So you can see my hussars and stuff. The enemy general was killed, and
Glorious
we got a
victory,
complete
sir,
rout
is
now
soon to be yours.
of the main force of the enemy. Right, go ahead and defeat all of them. And there we go, victory was achieved. And quite a stunning victory as well, given how many of these barbarians we have cut down. And there's just a massive massacre going on through town now. But it's good that we're collecting these chevrons for the cavalry, because that's going to be needed later on. I wish we could have gotten some for the line infantry. Thing is, I don't really need to chase down the enemy for any other reason than to get chevrons, because this was a town battle, so there's not going to be any Bavarians left to fight after anyways. There's nowhere for them to retreat. I'll get the cavalry to march out here. Get them away. And yes, with that, let's go ahead and end the battle, shall we? With a great victory. And here we have the battle results. I didn't think they were going to be, I knew they were going to be good, but I didn't know they were going to be this good. 225 lost on my side, compared to, well, everything was killed on their side, but the amount of troops killed by the, ooh, look at that. The hussars managed to take 600. Are they O'Reillys? 450. Bavarian Chevalier 379. Grenzers 278. Cuirassiers and so forth. Even my general somehow managed to get 30 kills. The artillery only got 36. So pretty darn good. And Bavaria is ours. Ooh, I mean, I really like the you know, liberating and creating nations, but I think we're gonna hold on to it, especially since looking at the amount of cash. I mean, I could loot the place. They would be very unhappy. Occupy. No, if I would loot anywhere, it's probably somewhere else where I don't really care. Like maybe if sort of Ottoman territory or something like that. Bavaria is now mine. I don't know if there's an option to like release nations that you hold, so maybe later on we would release it to be its own state. Increased, I guess I increased a little bit of my money. These guys will hold, because if I push this one forward, I could push into this bridge. This would leave that guy on his own, so that wouldn't be good. With victory there, question is to push these guys north and try to defeat Napoleon in main battle over here, or push them down to ah yes, wait, didn't I move you? No, because the thing, it didn't crash, but I had to redo something. Now I remember. Right. Very good. With this said, however, I don't think there's anything really more to do. So it's about ending turn. Ending turn is left, and I think we'll start off the next episode with that. And we'll see what the French does. We'll see if the Italians goes ahead and counterattacks and so forth. See if these guys Davo, if he pushes forward, or if he retreats in way of reinforcements. There's a lot of French troops there. I think they'll even outnumber us. Definitely need to work on the resupply depots and stuff. With that said, however, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!